Hello, everyone. My name is Leah Rada, and I'm a member of DevDegree as part of the York 2020 cohort. I am presently on the training path, which is the first 8 months of the program. Currently, I'm on the fourth out of 5 courses that are offered during the training path, and it is the Rails course. I am also halfway through my second term at York, and I am actually a mature student. So my experience and background is a little bit different than I think what is normal. So how did I get here? Well, that's a loaded question. Let's start at the beginning. Growing up. So my childhood was pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. I had a really good childhood. I grew up in Kawartha Lakes, and as a result of this upbringing, as I said, it was amazing, but I would also say it was a little sheltered. I'm also an avid gamer. I grew up on the original Nintendo and PlayStation consoles. I also discovered that I have a love for acting and improv, and I love collecting and organizing things. I have video game collections, card collections, and I love organizing physical possessions, and I also love organizing digital possessions in the forms of charts and things like that. So I always loved math and computers growing up, but I didn't really make the connection as a child that this was something I could kind of do for a living. Part of this was due to the fact that there's very few tech opportunities where I grew up. Also, being a mature student, I'm a little bit older than I think many of the applicants are. And at the time, there just weren't as many computer science courses and opportunities in the schools. I always did very well in school. I was a good student. I always got good grades, but I never knew what I wanted to do when I grew up. So after graduating high school, I still didn't know what I wanted to do. I took a gap year, still didn't know what I wanted to do. I figured, well, I better go to school for something. So I wound up going for a Bachelor of Science in Psychology. I graduated, completed everything I needed to, and now I was just in debt and still didn't know what I wanted to do because I didn't really want a job in psychology. So then I went to school for acting because why not? That's a logical step after psychology, right? Acting. I always kind of felt like I wanted to go back to school for something. I felt like I kind of messed up my post-secondary education, but I just didn't know what for. I was getting older. I had 2 degrees and still had no idea what I wanted to do. Had a lot of student debt still for my first degree, and I just sort of bounced around. I interned for in a few independent films. I did a few acting gigs just for the heck of it. I was a sleep technician at one point. I tutored high school and elementary students. And then again, I wound up working for a video production company with my partner. While I was there, as the years went on, I just found myself, I just wasn't happy. I didn't find the work we were doing fulfilling. I felt like it was something I sort of fell into, not something I worked towards. So it was like my skill set. I feel like I have skills and abilities that I was not applying in this job, and it required certain things that just didn't come naturally to me. And I just wasn't happy. So between my partner and I, we lost 3 family members in 2019. And it was a brutal year for our families. Those events kind of really made me reflect on just life and time and like what was I doing? And like, what am I doing with my life? It's been so long since I've done anything meaningful, so long since I've done anything that I care about. And I just feel like the days are just flying by. And I don't know, it just really put a lot of things into perspective for me. I like computers. I like math. I like organizing things. I like learning. I like making an impact. I like doing meaningful work. Why have I not thought of computer science before? I decided that's it. I'm going to go back to school finally. I'm going to go for computer science. I'm going to do it right this time. So this brings us to January of 2020, before the world exploded. And we suddenly found ourselves relocating to Vaughan. Now I found myself 10 minutes away from York University. So I'm like, what the heck? Why not apply to York? So I go on their site, and then that's when I first saw DevDegree. This was like exactly what I was looking for. An experience, again, being a little bit older, I was not looking forward to having to kind of put my life on hold. Like, I have bills and responsibilities and things I didn't have when I was 18. And it's hard to kind of pause that stuff for school. All of the opportunities and support that Shopify offered was just phenomenal. So I knew right away I wanted to apply. But again, this was, by the time I saw this, we were in early February, and the deadline was February 15th, sometime around that. And I was like, oh, that's good. That's in 2 weeks. Yeah, I better get cracking on this application. And I think I submitted it like 2 days before the deadline, but it was okay. They got it and all was good. And then the anxious waiting game started. And then in March, I got the life-changing email saying that they wanted to move forward with me for the Life Story interview. So then the interview process began over the next month or 2. The summer of 2020 was a little hectic, despite the obvious COVID craziness that was going on, because I also had to redo 3 high school courses within about 2-3 months. So it was a little bit of a crazy time for me, but it all worked out good because in May, I got the call saying that I would be offered a place in the 2020 cohort. And then August, it was actually the last day of August, so it was kind of more September, we started our onboarding process, and here I am. So as I mentioned at the beginning of my story, I find my path to DevDegree is a little bit more of one of these crazy things rather than a straightforward line, because I kind of was all over the place in all these different disciplines. I think this is it. I think I finally found where I'm supposed to be, and my path might be crazy, but it's mine. and I'm very happy with where it has taken me.